Today's fairy tale is another wild ride from Madame de Aulnoy. It's her version of Cinderella, and this one has child abandonment and ogre murder. It's called Finette Cendron. It starts with a king and queen who apparently suck at finances. Because they manage their affairs badly, they get driven out of their kingdom with their 3 daughters, and they're living in the wilderness, having sold all their stuff, they have nothing. The king tells his wife, "Think, wife, what shall we do? For I have only followed kingcraft," which is very easy. So the queen decides they can survive if she weaves nets and he uses them to catch fish and birds, but they just can't provide for their 3 daughters, so they're gonna go take them into the wilderness and leave them. The youngest daughter, Finette, overhears this and she's scared, so she goes to her fairy godmother, but she knows not to go empty-handed. She took 2 pounds of fresh butter, some eggs, milk, and some flour to make a nice cake for her godmother, and then travels to her, says, "Hey, I brought all this stuff, I'm gonna bake you a cake, okay?" Fairy godmother says, "Okay, good, but I also want you to be my little maid. Come do my hair." So she does her hair up really nice, and she's like, "Okay, I know what your problem is, here's how I'm gonna help you. Here's a magic ball of thread that will never break. Tie it at one end to your house and then keep it with you as your mom leads you out into the wilderness, and you'll be able to follow it back." She does that, and then the mom leads her and her sisters out to the wilderness. She tells them to go to sleep, and then she sneaks away. And when she wakes up, our girl thinks of going home by herself, because this is the first time we find out her sisters suck. She says, "They beat me and scratch me till blood comes, but in spite of their cruelty, I'll take them with me." So she wakes them up and they're like, "Yes, yes, take us with you. We will give you sugar plums and dolls." He's like, "No, I know you're not gonna do that, but I'll still take you home." So they go home, and the mom and dad are like, "Oh, dang it." Now the sisters not only don't give our girl what they promised her, they beat her senseless because they blame her for everything somehow. Our girl knows her parents are gonna try to abandon them again, and she doesn't have the ball of yarn anymore. She goes again to her godmother's house, but this time she's so exhausted from the beating and stuff that this horse magically shows up with a diamond saddle. It's clearly been sent by her godmother. So she gets on it, she rides to her godmother's, and her godmother says, "Okay, this time carry a bag of ashes, spread the ashes behind you as you walk, and then put your feet in them, and then your ashy footprints will lead you home. But don't save your sisters this time. If you disobey me and save your sisters, you won't hear from me again, and they're gonna hurt you again." She also gives her a sack full of diamonds and beautiful clothes. So she goes home, the same thing plays out, the mom abandons them in the woods. Our girl again can get home following the ash path, but her sisters beg and cry so much that she gives in and does what the godmother told her not to and brings them with her. And again, they beat her, and she's disappointed her godmother. The 3rd time that the mother abandons them, they don't try to go home because they're like, what's the point now? So they're trying to survive on their own in the wilderness, and they find an acorn, and they're gonna eat it, but then our girl says, "Let's not eat it, let's plant it and water it, and then soon it'll grow and give us lots to eat." So they tend to this acorn tree and eat cabbage as they wait for it to grow, and finally it does grow, and our girl climbs to the top to see what's out there. Now while she's up there, her sisters look in that secret sack of hers and find her beautiful dresses and diamonds. They clean themselves up, get themselves all dressed up in her clothes and diamonds. Meantime, she's like, "Hey, I see this beautiful castle over there, let's go there." And they're like, "Yeah, good idea." But when she comes back down, they're like, "Hey, all this stuff is ours now. The 3 of us are going to this mansion, but you're gonna be dressed in rags and be our servant. If you speak another word, we will kill you, bury your body, and no one will know anything about it." So they walk to this mansion, and guess what? An ogress lives there. She's like, "My husband, when he gets home, he's totally gonna eat you, but not if I eat you first." They try to run away, but she grabs them by their hair, drags them into a cellar to hide them from her husband so she can eat them herself. When the husband gets home, he finds the girls, but the wife still wants them for her own, and so she's like, "How about we keep them as servants, planning to eat them later?" And so the 3 of them have to help the man in the kitchen, and while they're in there, our girl Finette ends up shoving him in an oven and burning him into ashes, so they kill the husband. The ogress cries and is sad, and the other 2 evil sisters are like, "Hey, do you want us to do your hair?" And she's like, "Yeah, that would be nice." And while they're doing her hair, Finette grabs an axe, chops her head off. So they kill her too. Now the castle is theirs. But things are no better for Finette. Her sisters basically take over the castle, make her be their servant, and then finally, in traditional Cinderella sense, there's a ball. So she helps them get ready for the ball, they go. While they're gone, she's cleaning the house and finds this golden key that she can't tell it's gold till she washes it. And then she's like, "This must be to something important." And she finds this chest and opens it, and it's got amazing, gorgeous, fine clothes in it. She gets dolled up, goes to the ball, and it says that even though she wore no mask, she was so changed her sisters didn't even recognize her. Everyone is stunned by how gorgeous she is. The queen of the country asks her what her name is, and she says Cendron, which means cinders, kind of as a joke. This happens 3 times until one day she stays a little too late, and as she's running home, she accidentally loses one of her red velvet slippers with pearls on it. Queen's son, Prince Chéri, has fallen in love with her. He finds the slipper, he won't eat, and he's dying and just lies in bed, ailing and wasting away till his mom says, I know you're in love with someone, so just tell me who it is. Even if she's below your station, I'll let you marry her so you don't die. So he brings out the slipper and he's like, it's that one girl who keeps coming to the ball. And she's like, all right, well, let's find out who fits the slipper. They invite all the women of the kingdom to come to the palace to try on the slipper. It says all the women of the kingdom washed their feet with all sorts of waters, pastes, and pomade, even peeled their feet and sometimes pared them to make them smaller in preparation for this. When the sisters leave, our girl wants to go too. And so she goes outside dressed in her finery, and then the fairy horse shows up again. And she's like, oh, you got sent from my godmother. She must have forgiven me. So she gets on the horse and rides past her sisters, who now finally realize she's the same person. And Finette purposely rides by them and splatters their faces with mud while she's on her horse and says, Your Highnesses, Cendron despises you as much as you deserve. So she gets to the palace, she tries on the slipper, it fits, she brings out the other slipper just for extra proof, and the prince is like, yay, I'm gonna marry you. And she's like, wait though, you guys are the ones who took over my parents' kingdom after they got kicked out of it, so I'm not gonna marry you until you restore my parents. The parents who tried to abandon her and totally don't deserve this, but they agree to it. The parents get to go back and live in wealth again, and she also forgives her sisters, and they go back and live with the parents, and everyone lives happily ever after. I mean, except for the ogres. They're dead. As always, check out my book, Dust Spells, a reimagining of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and my podcast. All the links are in the bio.